Namaste students, I am JVS Dr. Neeraj Dholia from Faculty of Agriculture and Veterinary Sciences, Jayoti Vidyapeeth Women's University. So, we are studying about the subject developmental biology, and the topic which was running was the historical review and types of embryology. So, this is the your first topic which was incomplete in the first lecture. In the previous lecture, we have understand that what is developmental biology. Okay, so we have seen that there are two divisions of the developmental biology: prenatal development and the postnatal development. The prenatal development is also known as the ontogeny, and the development in the prenatal development can be through two methods. One is from sexual structures, and second is from the asexual structure. Sexual structures like the zygote, and the animal which is developed from the zygote is the oozoid. Likewise, the animal developed from the asexual structures such as blastema is known as the blastozoid. So we have also see the difference between the oozoid and the blastozoid. So obviously the blastozoid is the superior over the the oozoid is the superior over the blastozoid because the oozoid is formed from the sexual reproduction, and there is a chances for the recombination of the good characters and the development in the oozoid. So that is the recombination of the good characters is not possible in the blastozoid. Further, we have see the three terms: the gametogenesis, fermentation, and the cleavage, which is important in the developmental biology. Furthermore, we have learned what is the difference between the cleavage and the normal cell division. So obviously the cleavage is always occurs in the zygote. Then next, here we will talk about the historical review of the embryology. Okay, so the study of embryology, the science that deals with the formation and development of the embryo and fetus, can be traced back to the ancient Greek philosophers. So there are Greek philosophers which have discussed about the development of the embryo and the fetus. Originally, embryology was part of the field known as the generation. So the generation is a term which encompasses the studies of the various terms like the reproduction, the development, the differentiation, the generation of parts, the genetics. So these all are studied under the generation. So generation describe the means by which new animal or plant came into existence. So the generation or the developmental biology is not only restricted to the animal. It is equally true for the plants also. So the ancient believed that new organisms could arise through sexual reproduction, asexual reproduction, or spontaneous generation. So we have studied is the sexual and the asexual reproduction. So there is also another theory that the spontaneous generation means the animals develops spontaneously without any region, without any substance. They generated spontaneously. So as early as the 16th century BC, Greek physicians and philosophers suggested using the developing chick egg as a way of investigating embryology. So in the ancient time, around the 16th century BC, the investigators use chick egg for the study of the developmental biology or the embryology. So in 384 to 322 BC, there is a scientist, the Aristotle, give two methods of the development. The one is the pre-formation and second the epigenesis. So what is the pre-formation? Pre means before, means the animal is already present. Pre means already present in any form. So according to this, an embryo or miniature individual which have to be developed is present in either the mother's egg or the father's semen and begins to grow when properly stimulated. Means it is already present there but need to be properly stimulated to convert into the developed individual. So this theory also says that all the embryos have been created by the God at the time of the creation. So this theory saying that nothing is developing right now, because the any individual which we see today is already present and created by the God at the time of the creation. So this is not a scientific theory. Okay, so another theory is the epigenesis. Epigenesis is a scientific theory and it is also supported or favored by the Aristotle. So what this theory tells, the embryo begins as an undifferentiated mass and that new parts are added during development. So this theory says that the animal grow as an undifferentiated mass. Undifferentiated means immature cells, like the stem cells, which are immature, which are not dedicated to a specific organ or a specific type of cells. So animal starts develop from the undifferentiated mass, and during the development, the new parts are added into the developing embryo. So this is a scientific theory, and this is further lead to the embryology. So this is the same which I have discussed, or the Aristotle in 384 to 322 BC described the two historically important models of development known as the preformation and the epigenesis. Okay, so according to the preformance theory, an embryo or the miniature individual pre-exists in either the mother's egg or the father's semen and begins to grow when properly stimulated. Okay, already understood. So some preformers believe that all the embryos that would ever develop had been formed by God at the time of the creation. Further, the Aristotle actually favored the theory of the epigenesis, okay, which assumes that the embryo begins as an undifferentiated mass and that new parts are added during the development. Furthermore, Aristotle also said that the female uh, parent which contribute only for the unorganized matter to the embryo. Okay, and he also tells that the soul or the form is given by the male part from the semen. Okay, which also guide the development of the undifferentiated mass into the animal. And the first part of the new organism to be formed was the heart. Okay, so Aristotle added a few things, that female gives an undifferentiated mass of the cells, male gives the soul to the developing embryo, and it also stimulated the development of the individual, and the first organ which is developed is the heart. Further, a scientist known as the Caspar Friedrich Wolff in 1793-1794. So he published an article known as title was the theory of generation in 1759. So what this theory was, that the organs of the body did not exist at the beginning of gestation, but formed from some originally undifferentiated material through a series of steps. So this theory is more or less similar to the epigenesis model, but few things are added in this, that the animal is generated originally from the undifferentiated material, but the complete development is um, proceeded by various steps, means step by step development is there, various metabolic, various physiochemical changes are there, and then the complete animal is developed. So during the 19th century, there are most um, efficient microscopes are there, which led to the development of the study of the developmental biology. Okay, so one of the most individual was Christopher Frederick Wolff, 1733 to 1794, published a landmark article in the History of Embryology, the theory of generation. Okay, so Wolff argued that the organs of the body did not exist at the time of beginning of gestation, but formed from the originally undifferentiated material through a series of steps. Okay, clear? So naturalists who became involved in the movement known as the nature philosophy found Wolff's idea very attractive. So the naturalists also found the theory of the Wolff interesting and supported this theory. During the 19th century, the cell theory discovery of the so various discoveries are there in during the 18th 18th century, okay, or 19th century. Likewise, the discovery of the mammalian ovum, okay, establishment of the experimental embryology. Experimental embryology means the embryology which is based on the experiments, okay. So these all accelerated the study of the embryology. Okay, so about a century ago, careful observations were made of a number of developing organisms. By this time, there was a cell theory and good microscopes were available. So almost a century ago, before, the cell theory and the microscope are the two important things which have important role to accelerate the study of the development, animal development, the developmental biology. So this is the your historical background, and if you have uh, uh, any query, you can comment, and definitely I will solve your query. And thank you.